In 1665, an English scientist, Robert Hooke, first made an observation about cells, and he reported in his book Micrographia. He observed those cells by his own custom microscope. After Hooke's work, another Dutch scientist, Antony von Leeuwenhoek, came up with his custom microscope, which was a series of lenses, and he invented microscope in a way that it enables him to magnify the images 200 times more than Hooke's. He first observed animal cells, and he was credited for the discovery of bacteria, protists, red blood cells, and even sperm cells. Leeuwenhoek's work was worldwide acceptable till 1900s, when the need for microscope emerges, and in the field of biology, microscope is a very much important tool to observe cells and cellular organelles. In today's time, we have many more microscopes like phase contrast microscope, compound electron microscope, compound light microscope, fluorescence microscope, and even cryo-electron microscope. Those allows us to look into the cells and in cellular organelles. To be concluded that all the cells type falls into two categories: prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. In this video, I am going to discuss about the prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell in a brief review. Hello friends, welcome to Biology Consult. I am Animesh. So let's jump into the topic. So prokaryotic cell. Prokaryotic and eukaryotic, both of the terms came from Greek word that means pro and karyon. Pro means primitive or old. Karyon means nucleus or kernel. Similarly, eukaryotic, eu means new and karyon means nucleus. Their sizes varies. In case of prokaryotic cell, its size from 0.5 micrometer to 5 micrometer. In case of eukaryotic cell, it is 5 micrometer to up to 1 meter. Here are some side charts of eukaryotic cell. As you saw here, mitochondria, chloroplast, nucleus, and RBCs ranges from 1 micrometer to 10 micrometer. Epithelial cells as well as 100 micrometer to 1 millimeter. And in chicken egg, it is more than 10 millimeter. And in case of nerve cell, it is up to 1 meter. Okay, so prokaryotic cells are basically single cellular and eukaryotic cells are multicellular. So if we draw an image of prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell, it would be like that. The major difference of those two kinds of cells is about their nucleus. Where in case of eukaryotic cell, we clearly found a nucleus, but in case of prokaryotic cell, there is no nucleus. Rather than DNA is coiled up in some of the region of its cytoplasm, and it is known as nucleoid or genophore. In case of eukaryotic cell, we found a nucleus, that is membrane bound organ. In case of prokaryotic cell, this has lack of membrane bound organelles such as endoplasmic reticulum, mitochondria, Golgi bodies, chloroplast, etc. In case of eukaryotic cell, membrane-bound organelles are found. The major thing about prokaryotic cell that it consists of a cell wall which is composed of peptidoglycan or mucopeptide. Those peptidoglycan and mucopeptide falls into a category of polysaccharides and in case of eukaryotic cell they don't have any cell wall, but in plant cell we clearly observe a cell wall. So this is the major basic things about prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. Eukaryotic cells differ from prokaryotic cells in many ways. In case of prokaryotic cells, lysosomes and peroxisomes did not found, but in case of eukaryotic cells, lysosome and clearly visible. Lysosome clearly visible. In case of cell division, prokaryotic cell have binary fission, which consisted of conjugation, transformation, and transduction. In case of eukaryotic cell, we clearly observed mitosis and meiosis. Mitosis occurred in the somatic cell and meiosis occurred in germ cells. That means sperm and ovum. Next, most important thing is their transcription and translation mechanism. In case of prokaryotic cell, as I told earlier, DNA is coiled up somewhere in the cytoplasm and is denoted as nucleoid. So here single origin of replication found. But in case of eukaryotic cell, we clearly saw a nucleus which is consisted of nucleolus, chromatin fibers, nucleoplasm and nuclear envelope. Nucleolus, nuclear envelope, chromatin fiber and nucleoplasm. In case of replication, prokaryotic have single origin of replication, but eukaryotic have multiple origin of replication. Okay, so origin of replication is a point in a DNA from where replication begins. So origin of replication is a point of a DNA from where replication begins. In case of prokaryotic cell, there is no nuclear envelope. So when an RNA polymerase bound to its DNA, it actually produces an mRNA. those mRNA instantly take a part in protein synthesis. So ribosome bound on these mRNAs and it take part on translation or protein synthesis. Those mechanisms are known as coupled transcription translation. In that case, transcription and translation occurred simultaneously or at the same time. When RNA polymerase makes a new mRNA, then this mRNA proceeds to translation. Means ribosomes immediately bound to this mRNA and polypeptides formed. But in case of eukaryotic nucleus, here coupled transcription translation does not occur because from DNA, when RNA polymerase bound to this DNA, they make a pre-mRNA which goes into splicing, means cutting of the particular pre-mRNA and producing a final mRNA. Those mRNA comes outside from nuclear pore and in the cytosol mRNA goes into translation. Means ribosomes bound with those mRNAs in the cytoplasm and produces polypeptides. So here transcription and translation occurred after some time. After completion of transcription, the processing of pre-mRNA is needed and then those mRNA, final mRNAs comes out from nucleus to cytoplasm and then ribosome bound to this mRNA and produces polypeptide chain. But in case of prokaryote, transcription and translation occurred simultaneously. So it is known as coupled transcription translation. This is the main point that differs prokaryote and eukaryotic transcription and translation. Lastly, I give you an example of prokaryote and eukaryote. So in case of prokaryote, the example is bacteria and archaea. And in case of eukaryote, animalia and plantae. In animalia, all of the animals falls into this animalia, and plantae, all of the plants falls into this kingdom, plantae. So if this video is helpful to you, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.